Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crocheting Coffee here, and today we're doing our Wip N Chat, so get out whatever it is you're working on. Work along with me. This was a highly requested video. After last week's response, I was shooketh. I was not expecting that to blow up the way it did. Y'all, look, listen, I was just being lazy. I just didn't want to get off the couch. Like, I was not expecting you guys to be all ham about the fact that I showed my face. Now, I'm not typically one to show my face, not for any particular reason other than it's kind of out of my comfort zone. I kind of like being a hand model, as Mr. Coffee says. So, like, I just don't show my face. But it's not a secret my face looks like because I've showed it on camera before. Matter of fact, not too long ago, I just did a Wip N Chat, or not a Wip N Chat outside. No, I lied. Not a Wip N Chat. It was a What You Got Wednesday. I did a What You Got Wednesday where I showed my face. I was trying snacks. Sorry, I have to get this hair off my back because it's making my back itch. So yeah, so we know the normal routine with you're seeing my face. You might see kids pop up over here. That's my Mother's Day gift. I got tulips for Mother's Day. I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. But yeah, the kids are doing, Maggie's probably asleep. Gotta tell y'all some stories about Maggie, that little girl. She is testing every nerve in my nervous system. And then Orion's doing schoolwork, and then the dogs are outside on the porch. So if you hear noise from outside traffic, it's because the door's open, because the dogs were mean grilling me, and they were like, I want to go outside. And I was like, then go outside. Anywho, so you might see them like walk past or go whatever, because I'm pretty sure Daisy likes to go get water every time I start pressing the record button. She's got to go get water. She's just the thirstiest she's ever been in her entire life. So yeah, so get out whatever it is you're working on. Let's do a little bit of whipping and chatting, shall we? We're going to do a little gossip. We're going to gossip a little bit. Hope you're having a good day. Gotta have that coffee. I splurged and got myself... I don't usually go for flavors when it comes to creamer. Usually I just get like generic Walmart creamer. I splurged. I got Snickers creamer. And I was like, Snickers? I have to. Snickers are my favorite. They're my favorite. I can't eat a lot of them, but they are my favorite. So I was like, in creamer form? So I got Snickers creamer, and yeah, I'm excited. It doesn't take much, as you can't tell. So, how was you guys this weekend? I hope you all had a good weekend. For those mothers out there in the U.S., I hope you all had a great Mother's Day. I know I did. I did nothing. Best Mother's Day ever. I did nothing. Mr. Coffee made me breakfast for dinner. Okay, here we go. The plan was we were supposed to get up, have Mr. Coffee cook breakfast for us. Then, you know, we'll have, you know, we kind of like have lunch in spurts. Like one person will have lunch and another person will have lunch. We don't do like a whole like family lunch and you get like the cheese and everything else. Like this is not... This is not one of those, like, you know, cheesy commercial things. So we kind of eat lunch whenever we feel like it. So we were planning on, you know, just having a normal afternoon. And then for dinner, we were going to have, I don't remember what we were supposed to have. Well, apparently, everybody slept in. The kids were asleep till about, I think Orion said 11. Me and Mr. Coffee slept in until about 12:45. Well, there went breakfast. The kids got breakfast, so don't worry. They can feed themselves. They're perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. And what they like to do is make sure we stay asleep, because then they can go play uninterrupted without us going, hey, you need to clean this. Hey, you need to do this. So don't worry. They are perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. And the weird thing was, I didn't even stay up super late that night. But I didn't wake up till 12:45, and I'm like, what? We just wasted the whole morning. So the whole morning was just spent sleeping. Best Mother's Day ever. Then we get to the afternoon and Mr. Coffee's like, are you hungry? No, not really. Now, weird thing about me is I don't eat all day. I will rarely will I eat breakfast. I don't typically tend to eat lunch. I eat dinner. I don't even eat a big portion at dinner. It might not look like it because of this. But I promise, I don't eat a lot for dinner. This is just laziness. This is what happens when you sit down after you eat and then you don't move for hours. Okay, this is lack of exercise. But don't worry, I'm going to get it right and tight for the summer. Hot girl summer coming. Anyway, so I'm sitting there. And Mr. Coffee's like, okay, well, he makes himself some lunch. And the kids have found a new obsession. I'm not going to lie, I have also found a new obsession. KFC. We haven't been to a KFC. I haven't been to a KFC in probably like 7 or 8 years. Mostly because the one where I used to live at in Lewistown, yeah, it sucked really bad. Like, those people did not know how to cook chicken. And obviously, there's one thing I'm going to be super picky about. Stereotype is true with me. I love me some fried chicken, okay? I'm Southern. I love me some fried chicken. These people could not cook fried chicken if the Colonel himself came and taught them classes, okay? It was off. The last time I had KFC, I got food poisoning. And I'm pretty sure 3 of my wings weren't cooked fully, so I ended up getting sick because when you opened it, it wasn't done, and like it started bleeding, and I was like, y'all ain't know how to cook no damn chicken. Please stop. Please stop. I think they actually did get rid of that KFC because those people could not cook. They couldn't do it. They just, no. Oh, God, no. Anyways. So we had KFC for dinner. And the kids have become obsessed with extra crispy chicken, which is weird because Maggie doesn't eat meat. All of my kids go through the... Okay, question of the video, because I noticed last week I didn't give y'all a question because y'all were just so shocked that y'all saw my face. Y'all didn't even need a question. So this week's question, if you're a mom, did your children go through phases when it comes to eating? Meaning, my kids all went through a phase where for about a year, they didn't eat meat. They just refused. It's not that they didn't like it. They would say they didn't like it so they didn't have to eat it. But they literally went through phases where they wouldn't eat meat. I don't know. But Maggie's in that phase now, but she's been in the phase for like 3 years now that she just refuses to eat meat. But then she will eat a hot dog. But then she will eat a piece of extra crispy fried chicken. She will also eat my Dr. Pepper beef tips, which I think I kind of want for dinner. She will eat random meat at random times. But then if you go to make that same meat again, in like within a week, if you go to make that same meat again, she won't eat it. No, I don't like it. Look, listen. Let's talk about Maggie for a second. For those wondering, Orion's doing fine. He's in testing. He has testing this week, and that poor kid is just going through it. Okay, he's going through it. But he has his cats to get him through, so he's doing just fine. But that damn Maggie, I'm telling y'all, I'm not even joking. This little girl is testing every nerve in my nervous system. Why is it? One, why do little girls have to change their clothes 7 times a day? Asking for myself. Let me explain. She woke up that morning, she had on her jammies, and I was like, why don't you go get some clothes on? Now, I don't typically wear clothes around the house, but I also don't wear nightgowns either. I usually have a shirt and t-shirt on, or sweats and a t-shirt on when I'm in the house. Even right now, sweatpants, t-shirt. I don't even know where this t-shirt is from. I stole it from Mr. Coffee. I don't even know. Don't tell him I got this shirt on because he will fuss. He gonna fuss when he gets in the house anyway, but don't tell him y'all saw it because then yeah, you know. So I'm sitting there, and she goes and gets dressed. Okay, go put some sockies on your feet because I like them to have socks on, especially since they're all getting over colds. Mr. Coffee is still hacking his lungs up. So I'm like, put some socks on your feet. She goes, okay. She goes to put socks on. Not even 2 hours later, this chick comes out of her room. She a whole new person. It's like she had a revelation about her life and decided to start anew. I'm like, why are you in that outfit now? What happened to the outfit you had on before? Oh, well, I wanted something different, you know? No, I don't know. Please explain. She's like, well, sometimes, doesn't it get old wearing sweatpants? No, it doesn't. It really does not. They're warm and comfy, and they cover my behind. And she goes, well, not the other day, because the other day you went to go bend over, and I saw your butt crack. These kids, I can't make it up. I can't make it up. So I'm sitting here, and I'm like, well, I don't get tired of my sweatpants. And she goes, well, sometimes I get tired of my outfits, so I feel like I should change them. I'm like, is that why when I do laundry at the end of the week, there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 outfits for your brother, but 12 for you? And she's like, well, yeah, you gotta switch it up every once in a while, Mom. How about you switch it up and learn how to do some flipping laundry, and then you can switch it up. Until then, the only thing you switch in is Uno cards, playing Uno Switch. Don't be changing clothes 7 times a day. She had on different pairs of socks yesterday, none of them matching. Please explain, make it make sense. I don't understand. Guess a trash truck. Maybe. Alright, hold on a second. Alright, so I knew there was going to be a trail of trucks coming, and I didn't want you guys to have to hear all that. So, after the whole changing clothes debacle, which she's still doing, because why not? She needs a change in her life. Anyways, so you guys, if you were in live on Friday or you watched the replay, you would have heard that there was an incident with a window friend. Window friend got a little violent with Maggie and then called her stupid and slow, and Maggie's been kind of down on herself about it. And we, of course, talked to Maggie and let her know that, she was not at fault, even though Window's friend's mom claimed that she was at fault because Maggie could not explain herself. Because, again, when Maggie gets super stressed out, she has seizures. You don't see them, but they're happening. So I'm just like, let's just do it like this. Mr. Coffee and I have decided that, Window friend is no longer going to be playing with Maggie. We're going to keep her away from Maggie, and that's going to be that, because I'm tired of them fighting. And then for Window's friend's mom to just be like, well, kids will be kids. Oh yeah, kids will be kids? How about adults will be adults? And she's like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Oh, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Saturday, we're sitting here. There's a knock. No, Friday. Friday, we're sitting here. There's a knock at the door. I'm asleep, okay? I'm sitting on the couch, sleep. I hear the knock at the door. I wake up. Because why? I get lots of packages. Not all of them are for the channel. I get a lot of stuff for the house too. So I immediately thought it was my UPS guy, whose name is Tom now, apparently. They switch him every 6 months or something like that. Anyways. So I'm sitting here and I hear the knock and I go, oh, well, I must have got a package. Oh, Mr. Coffee's like, your package is already on the table. I was like, yay. And I was like, then who the hell's knocking on our door? Because, we do know a couple of people here, but not enough for someone to actually come and knock on our door. So I'm like, who is it? Mr. Coffee goes to the door and who is it? It's Window Fred. Hi, can I play with Maggie? I go to get up. Mr. Coffee looks at me. He goes, no. I was like, I choose violence. And Mr. Coffee's like, no. And he looks at Window Friend and goes, after the events that I heard about the other day and how your mom took your side over the fact that you hit Maggie, even though this isn't the first time you've hit Maggie, this is actually the third time you've hit Maggie, and we've already told you to keep your hands off of our child, and you chose not to, you are no longer welcome at this home. You do not come to our house. You do not pet our dogs. You do not talk to our dogs. You do not talk to our children. You stay away from their windows. I don't care what's going on. Don't come back here ever again. She left crying. Her mom comes back down. I don't understand why you won't let little Window Friend play with Maggie. Oh, you don't? You don't? You're that type of dumb. Okay, let me explain this to you. This is actually the third time your daughter has put hands on my child. My child knows that she's not supposed to hit people, so she doesn't usually hit her back. But that third time, she caught wind of the fact that, she didn't really catch wind of anything. She realized that she was just defending herself, which is the reason why she hit your daughter back. Now, your daughter has what we like to call liabetes. And she's like, liabetes? Now, take it, her mom's a traveling nurse, so her mom was probably thinking I meant say diabetes. And I said lie, as in she tells lies. Abetes, meaning there's ample lies happening. Just like, when you have diabetes, you got a lot of sugar. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, your daughter has liabetes. Okay, and she admits it. She admits that she lies a lot for attention. Okay, cool. You don't get enough attention at home? That's not like a you problem. I'm like, but this is the third time your child has now hit my child. To which my child comes home crying because your child hit her. You okayed it. But looking at the two kids, Maggie is 3 times smaller than your child. And you allowed your child to hit my child and then went, kids will be kids. Adults will be adults. So if I haul off and smack you in the face and you fall on the floor, are you going to look at me and go, well, adults will be adults? No, you're going to call the cops on me because I just assaulted you. Your daughter assaulted my daughter, had the nerve to call her names because she's trying to show out in front of these other little people that she's playing with, which happens every time she goes and plays with other little kids. She always uses Maggie as her punch bag and hits my daughter and calls her names like stupid and slow, which I'm like, since you don't know, because you couldn't even be bothered to come down here and actually officially meet me. Hi, I'm Miss Tepper. I'm Maggie's mom. I'm like, your child has been nothing but a nuisance since you moved in here and she started playing with my kids. I'm like, so I'm going to have to ask that you keep it away from my children. I don't want it near my house. I don't want it near my dogs. I don't want it anywhere near us. I want it to go away. Don't call my daughter an it. You're lucky that's all I call her. Because for the longest time, we didn't know what it was. So, yeah, no. Yeah, get the hell out of my face. No, your child will not be playing with my child. Your child can go play with somebody else's kid. But it won't be mine. Ever again. And so now the kids don't talk to her anymore. And I'm just like, that's the life I live for right now. Because I want Maggie to know that when she gets older, that you don't have to take and put up with people talking bad about you. Directly to your face, nonetheless. You don't have to, sit there and deal with people abusing you, physically or mentally. I want her to be able to stand up for herself. And usually Maggie would have hauled off and cold clocked this chick in the face, but she knew she would get in trouble if she did, so she didn't. She saves all those wrestling moves for Orion. Don't worry, he's fine. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, now I feel bad because she doesn't have any other little friends around here. The other little friend that she did have moved away because that's what happens in the oil field country. They move away after a couple of months. Well, she's all upset now because, well, mommy, now who do I play with? Chick, you play with me now. Now we playing. Now you is forced to play Barbies with me. Now you are forced to find all the Barbie clothes. And you are forced to play Barbies with mommy. Because until you make a new friend outside, guess what? Look at me. I'm your friend now. And she's like, you are? I'm like, yeah. She's like, mommy, you're not my friend. I'm like, I'm not. She goes, you told me the other day we're not friends. I'm like, when it comes to me telling you to do something around the house, no, we're not friends. When it comes to us playing, I will be your friend all day. And she's like, mommy, that's confusing. You'll figure it out. Mommy has yet to figure it out, but you will figure it out. And she's just like, okay. So, window friend is no more. We've officially told her to stay away from our house. She does know where the new house is, but I highly doubt she'll show her face there. So there's that. But yeah, so Maggie's gotten a little sassier over the last couple of days since she hasn't been with Window Friend. And we assumed that the sass came from Window Friend because Window Friend talks to her mom any kind of way. Her mom told her to do something the other day. She said no. I pulled off my flipper and was about ready to hit her. And her mom's like, now don't say that. Okay. Okay, I can feel my parents hitting me, and I didn't even say it. Like, did you just tell your parent no, and she said okay? Okay. She's one of those types of parents. Okay, it makes sense now. I'm like, I'm not going to judge you on what type of parent you are, but look, listen. There are certain kind of kids that I don't like playing with my kids, and it's those type of kids. The kids that are friends with their parents, that let them get away with anything, because if I would have known that, Maggie would have stopped playing with this girl a while ago, because those types of kids, they can do no wrong, but everybody else is out to get them. They have the victim mentality. So I'm just sitting there like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So window friends no more, and we're sitting here Saturday, and Maggie's just like, mommy, I'm gonna practice, my math, because she has some program on her computer from school that's called extra math, and she's like, I'm gonna practice some math, and I'm like, okay, like, if that's what you want to do, honey. Like, she loves math, so I'm like, I'm not going to tell her not to do it just because I don't like it. Well, she brings it to me, and I was like, hold up, I thought you were going to do math. I didn't want to do math. And she's like, mommy, I don't want to hear that stuff. Like, let's get it done. I'm sorry, what'd you say to me? And she's like, what are you doing? I'm looking to see who the hell you talking to. I'm like, no, ma'am, that's not how we talk to mommy. And she's like, well, mommy, you need to help me. No, I don't need to do. I need to stay black and die. That's all the things I need to do in this world. Helping you with math is not something I need to do. I do it because I love you and I want you to succeed in life and know how to do math. I don't do it because I have to. I don't have to do anything. I can pull you out of school right now, let you be dumb, let you go work on a farm, okay? Like, no. And she's like, I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. And that's the thing with Maggie. Maggie has this thing where she knows how to manipulate people very well. Because Maggie will do something wrong and then say something very, very sweet afterwards. She'll just be like, Mommy, I'm sorry for what I said. Like the other day when we had that really bad day with homeschooling, that night before she goes to bed, she's like, oh, there's Daisy. That night before she goes to bed, she's just like, Mommy, I'm really sorry that I was being so bad today for homeschooling. And I'm like, the damage is done, child. Go to bed. And she's like, I love you, Mommy. I promise tomorrow will be better. Will it? But really, would it really? Like, seriously. So yeah, she knows how to manipulate people into doing things that she wants. And it can be a little bit much at times, but for the most part, I treat her just like I would any other kid. Even though she's super cute, she can still get her butt beat being super cute, okay? So, what, Daisy? This is why you can't give Daisy any attention, especially when you're doing something important. I don't know why I do that. I always put my finger in her mouth to see if she'll bite me. I know she never will, but there's that one day that she will. Hi, Daisy. Hi. So, yeah, I'm in the middle of a video right now. Do you mind? Can I? Your breath is hot. It smells like fish. Thank you. Okay, can I finish? Can I? Okay, so Daisy, they didn't come here for. Can you, really? No, don't, no kisses, no kisses. You're kind of in the middle of this, Daisy. All right, I'm gonna have to pause. Hold on, guys. Let me get her off of me. Another reason why I don't do Wip N Chats while, doing face-to-face, because, this... Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. Yeah, so for those of you who are new to the channel, that's Daisy. That's my German Shepherd. She's about 4 years old. She's a big baby. Yeah. Which is funny, because I'm sitting here this morning. I have my door open so the dogs can go in and out. And I closed it because it started getting colder. So I closed it and I reopened it, and some lady was walking with her dog, and she goes, now my dogs are just standing on the porch looking at her, okay? They're not bothering her. They're not barking, surprisingly. They're just looking at her. This lady takes one look at my dogs and she goes, look at those vicious dogs. You know what? I know people like to stereotype certain dogs because of the way they look. And you're like, oh, well, this dog is scary. Just admit that you're scared of the dog and not that the dog is scary. Because there's nothing scary about my German Shepherd. She's never bitten anybody. She doesn't bare teeth at anybody. She's very protective of kids. There's nothing scary about my German Shepherd. But for some reason, she gets stereotyped as being scary. Case in point, last summer. If you were here last summer, we got kicked out of the dog park for 3 weeks. Or for 2 weeks. What happened? Going today. Whoa. Mr. Coffee just messaged me. Hold on a second. Sorry, y'all. Mr. Coffee is going through it at work today. Okay, where was I talking about? Oh my God. Again, I get super distracted because I can see the phone now. And now I see these things pop up on my phone. But yeah, just admit that you're scared of a dog. So last summer, one of the residents over at the apartments across the street called and said that my dog had attacked her dog. Now, she didn't say my dog. She said a German Shepherd. Well, the cops were circling around trying to find this German Shepherd that attacked this woman's dog. And it just so happened it was time for me to go walk the dog. So I go to start walking the dogs. The cop comes up to me and he goes, can I talk to you? Now, he waits until after we're out of the dog park. And I'm thinking, where most people are afraid of my dog, they usually won't talk to me until I have them in the dog park. Because then they know the dog can't really escape if they want to talk to me. Which they can. They can just jump the fence, but they don't know that. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, can I help you? And the guy's telling me that I was banned from the dog park. And I'm like, what did I do? I've been coming here for like a year. At this point, I had been going there for a year. So I'm like, what the hell? And then he tells me it's because my dog attacked somebody's dog. And I'm like, excuse me? What? This is news to me. What? Yo. Apparently this lady was supposed to come ID my dog, but was too afraid. So the cop told her to look out the window. And this is after he banned me, okay? I had called and made a ruckus. And they said that I was being insubordinate because I wasn't listening to what they were saying. I'm like, I heard what you said, but you're not listening to me when I tell you my dog hasn't attacked anyone. So they had me go back over with my dogs and had the lady look out the window because she was too frightened for her wiener dog to come out and see if my dog was the one that attacked her dog. She looks through the window, looks down at me, and goes, Leisha? I was like, Sarah, did somebody attack Weenie? And she's like, yeah. I call her dog Weenie. His name is actually Charles, but that's a human's name. And that dog doesn't look like a Charles, so I call him Weenie. And I was like, somebody attacked Weenie and they thought it was me? And the lady tells the cop, she goes, it's not Leisha's dog. And they're like, well, ma'am, you said a German Shepherd. I'm like, y'all just profiled my dog, yo? Like, did y'all just do that? Y'all just profiled my dog because it was a German? You know how many German Shepherds are around here? It's kind of hard to miss mine. It's the only white one. So around here, just by people walking by my house, okay, I've seen 7 owners of German Shepherds in the vicinity of my house. But they're all the same color. They're the normal black and tan German Shepherds, not the sable, which is what Daisy's considered. She's considered sable. They're not her color, but somehow they mistook Daisy for one of the dogs that attacked her. Now, the dog that attacked the woman, they did find out was a puppy German Shepherd. And I'm like, not only that, my dog is 4 years old. She's a dog, okay? Dog with a W. She's a dog at this point. And you just profiled my dog because it's a German Shepherd. I'm like, if my dogs were so vicious, then why, if they're vicious, are they standing here in front of me, or I should say laying down at my feet? Both dogs were laying down at my feet as the cop is talking to me. And I'm like, if my dog is so vicious, then how is it that they're not attacking you? I'm like, I don't feel like I'm in distress or anything, and I'm not afraid. But, and this is before like all the Black Lives Matter stuff started. Like, this is before all of that. So it wasn't like I was afraid or anything. I mean, I always have that little nick of fear about cops, but that's just something that's been ingrained in me for some reason. I don't know. But it wasn't like it is now where racial tensions are high. It was back before then. And I was a little afraid, but not enough to be like, the dogs would be alerted to the fact that I was afraid. So I'm like, I'm not showing fear. I'm not showing any kind of anxiety. So the dogs are laying at my feet. They're just laying there. If my dogs are vicious, wouldn't they attack you? And he goes, well, it's not this other black and white dog. What kind of dog is that? He's a Siberian Husky. Oh, I love Siberian Husky. Oh, that's wonderful. Can we get back to the case in point, please? And he's like, well, the German Shepherds are known to be vicious around here. And I'm like, excuse me? Obviously, you haven't met my German Shepherd. Well, then I guess he at some point called for backup because I was so mean and frightening. And the backup guy came and he goes, oh, Daisy. And Daisy sees the cop and Daisy gets all excited. She goes and runs over, and she's still on the leash, but she goes over and runs over into him and starts like, wagging her tail and everything. And the guy comes up and he goes, hey, how's it going? Are you okay, ma'am? I'm like, no, apparently my dog is being profiled. And he's like, what? Your dog? And I'm like, yeah, apparently somebody attacked this woman's dog and they think it's my dog. And they're like, the guy looks at the other cop. He goes, not Daisy. Daisy, no. The reason the guy knew Daisy was because when we first moved here, we would take them up to the soccer field up the street. Well, the police guys would go up there and do... I'm in the middle of a video. Do you mind? Can I, please? Thank you. No. Again, why I can't do nothing. But I'm like, we would take the dog up to the soccer field, and the police guys would be down on the other end of the soccer field, which is about the soccer field is about the size of a football field, okay? The cops would be at the other end of the soccer field doing exercise. They would be running, they would be doing push-ups, sit-ups, all kinds of stuff. They have like their little radio down there. They'd just be chilling, okay? And so my dogs would randomly go over and like go mess with them while they were exercising. They wouldn't go try to attack them or anything. They would just go up and like the one guy was doing push-ups and Daisy jumped on his back. So some of the cops know the dogs, some of them don't. So the one guy that was talking to me at first didn't know my dogs, but the guy that showed up did. And he goes, Daisy wouldn't hurt anyone. He's like, you obviously have the wrong person. Anyways, long story short, we got banned from the dog park for a couple of weeks. We had to talk to the leasing owner over there, and she okayed us to go and keep taking our dogs over there since it wasn't our dogs. And she noticed that we were one of the few families that actually went over and would clean up after other people's dogs at the dog park. We used to, we don't anymore. Because they took the trash cans away, so now it's just a pain in the butt and I don't do it anymore. So I just clean up after my dogs. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, why are they profiling, like, why does everybody always profile my dog to be scary? She's not scary. If anything, she just sits there and glares at you through the window. Like, how's it? It's kind of hard to be scared of a dog when all she does is press her nose up to the window where she's like showing her teeth, and then you just see her start randomly licking the window. She's not scary. She's special. She's special. Anywho. So yeah, so we had I don't know if I talked about this. We had a good Mother's Day. I did nothing. We woke up late. I got a Hello Kitty shirt. And right now, Orion's obsession is ramen noodles. Like top ramen. So he has now 2 ramen noodle shirts. Maggie's current obsession, which has been her obsession for years now, is Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Maggie is big into Dragon Ball Z. So she got a baby Goku shirt. And then I guess they found me a Hello Kitty ramen noodle shirt. So I was like, oh, that's adorable. That's just... And Mr. Coffee even remembered my size. This is a huge deal because for 11 years, this man could not tell you what the size of clothes I wear is. Which is hilarious because we wear the same size. Like when it comes to small, medium, large, in those sizes, we wear the same size. So I'm just like, how do you not remember what size I wear? Anywho. But we had a good Mother's Day, and one of the best gifts I got was, I'm not a gamer. I play video games. I'm not a gamer. Not like Mr. Coffee and Orion. No, I don't have the brain capacity for that. But I love having Mr. Coffee play certain games for me because I like watching him play them. Now, just recently, the new Resident Evil 7, or was it 8? I think it's Resident Evil 8 came out with Lady Dimitrescu. I've been calling her Lady Dimitrescu because of the way it's spelled, but it's Lady Dimitrescu, as she says it herself in the game. I've been waiting for him to play this game. It finally came out on the 7th, and so for Mother's Day, he played the game for me, like the entire game. Mr. Coffee, one of the reasons why I hate buying him video games, which if anybody else has a relative or a sibling or whoever like this, let me know down in the comments, because this irritates the crap out of me. I stopped wanting to buy Mr. Coffee games early on in our relationship because these games are $60 when they're brand new, okay? $60. This dude would finish a game in a day and a half. $60 for a day and a half's worth of video gaming. No. That's not worth it to me. That's a lot. No. $60 nowadays. $60. That's a Diamond Art Club canvas. Okay, that gives me at least a week of fun. Okay, I'll even drag it out if I have to. I can get a couple of months of fun out of that. But I mean, look at Pride. Hello, that took me like what, 2-3 months. So I'm like, yeah, no, no, I don't like buying him video games. But now that I've gotten to realize that the video games is his equivalent of crafting for me. I let him buy video games. Like, he gets it with his allowance. He gets an allowance every, couple of weeks, and he gets to do whatever he wants with it. So with his allowance, he went and got himself a video game. And so he played that for me Sunday, like, all day. Like, I literally, like, I turned my gamer into someone who now, he still likes playing games, but he says I now force him to play it, so it's like a job. And I'm like, well, then maybe when you get older, you won't want to play video games anymore. Y'all, he's addicted. It's sad. There he goes again. Hold on. Y'all, this man talking about man camps. Oh my God. So he's applying for other jobs because The job he's at, he likes the job he's at. The problem with the job that he's at is he was expecting to have like all these hours like when he first started, and things get slow in certain jobs in the oil field, and they knew that things were getting slow for them, and they didn't not hire someone, and they were guaranteeing a certain amount of hours every week, and that guarantee quickly went out the window. And so Mr. Coffee doesn't like the fact that the guarantee went out the window, so he is in the search of another job. I told him that I didn't like the fact that he keeps bouncing jobs, but it's Mr. Coffee. He's going to do what he's going to do. He's a big kid. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so we're getting ready and ripped up for the move. I don't know where to start at this point. There's literally so much stuff in this apartment. I don't know where to start. And I told Mr. Coffee, I was like, look, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sublimate some cups. I have, like, behind this couch right here, like literally right here, there are 75 tumblers that need to be sublimated, because I sublimated some of them yesterday. I spent the time where I was doing something yesterday, I was sublimating cups. So I was like, I'm going to sublimate some cups before we leave so we don't have to take those. And he goes, you know how many cups you have over there? No, not really, because I ordered a bunch of them back in March, and they're just now getting here in May. So I don't, like, I try not to order them overseas anymore, because I did get into a big issue with one of the sellers. They sold me cups that weren't fully cured, and sublimation blanks. Yeah, let's talk sublimation for a minute, because when I move to the new place, you guys will be getting a one-on-one how do you sublimate video, like everything you need to know about sublimation from my point of view. So I'm sitting there, and the seller sent me cups that weren't fully cured, which if you know, just like diamond painting, if you open up a Diamond Art Club canvas and their glue isn't fully cured, your drills will slide across the canvas like they're Michael Jackson moonwalking. Like, you get that? So with sublimation, when the coating that is used for sublimation isn't fully cured onto the cups, it makes the paper stick to the cup, and you can't get it off without like a lot of elbow grease and hot soapy water, because these cups are waterproof and you can do all this stuff to them. You just don't want to use harsh chemicals on them, because it will rip the color away from them, like dull the color. So the seller sent me these cups, and I was like, these cups suck. What is up with these cups? Like, I've ordered from the same, like, it's like an AliExpress. So I'm like, I've ordered from the same website before with no issues. I just tried a different seller, and I got bad cups. The seller was telling me, no, it has to be something you're doing. It's not my cups, blah, blah, blah. Well, then he contacted somebody else, I guess, that works for him. This is after 3 weeks of fussing back and forth with this guy, okay? And after 3 weeks, the guy finally tells me that there was an issue at his factory where they were having problems with the stuff not curing fully, because they had so many orders that they needed to get out, so they didn't worry about curing them fully. So he's like, cook them at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, and they should work. Y'all, that's 50 cups. And I can't put these in my oven. Like, it's not like it's something I can put in my oven. One of the tips for sublimation is, you have the reason why you have to buy a convection oven, which I don't know if you can see it, but kind of right here is where my convection oven is. The reason you have to buy a convection oven is because the gases that come off of the ink and the cup when you're sublimating them are hazardous. Meaning you can't, like, I can't then go make a bagel. Not that I like bagels, but you can't go make something in my convection oven after I've sublimated in. It is now only for sublimation. So you can't put stuff like that in your stove or anything, because you literally will essentially make you and your family sick. So don't do that. Which I had a lady comment once that she just likes using her oven for sublimation. And I'm like, I pray to God you're not using your household oven, because if you are, you should probably go seek medical attention immediately. So yeah, so the convection oven, I got, what, I think I can fit 3 cups in the convection oven at a time. And I'm supposed to do this with between 50 to 75 cups? No, thank you. I don't, nope. So I was like, but I'm going to try to sell all the sublimation stuff that I have before we move. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. Gives us that extra cash to go ahead and pay up on our rent, because unlike here, what I would like to do is I would like to pay a couple of months of my rent at a time. So instead of paying like 1 month, you know, every month. I want to pay like I want to pay it every 6 months. So that frees up that money when Mr. Coffee gets paid. If something happens to his pay, that gives us time to get it figured out without it affecting our rent. But I'm pretty sure if we ever have an issue, the people over there seem really nice and reasonable. So like, I'm pretty sure if we ever had an issue, they would be okay with like letting us, you know, be a late for a little bit or something. But like the people here, if you're late, if you don't have your rent in by the 5th, expect to wake up the next morning. Oh my God. Sorry, somebody's trying to call him. Expect to wake up the next morning to an eviction notice on your door. Like, they do not play. And when they say eviction, they mean get out in 48 hours. You have I lied. You have 72 hours that you vacate the apartment. That's what happened to us last year when we were getting ready to sign our lease, was we didn't sign it in time. And so because we didn't sign it in time, that evening, they waited until the office was closed. They thought they were slick. They waited until the office was closed and then gave us the eviction notice so that we couldn't call and say anything about it. Like we weren't going to wake up the next day and call them. And then come to find out it was because we didn't sign the lease. And even though we paid the rent, we didn't pay the difference because they charged us the month-to-month rate instead of the yearly rate, which the month-to-month rate literally is just double of what I paid now. So $2,800 a month if you do month-to-month. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? It's highway robbery. That's robbery. That's what it is. It does not make sense. Oh my gosh, hold on a sec. I got to call. Ugh. Oh my God, the distractions today. So yeah, but homeschooling went great today. No problems out of Maggie. We were done with her work by 1 o'clock. Orion's still doing his schoolwork, which it usually does take him a little bit longer because he has like actual essay papers and stuff. Maggie's just doing, like right now she's doing math arrays, and it's just slides, and it's like, how many cookies are on this sheet? How many equations can you make with the cookies on this sheet? Okay. I need to fill out the thing for her because they do offer a summer camp for reading for the kids. And I want her to go to the summer camp. But y'all, I was so proud this morning. Oh my God. Maggie, I pulled out her Know It, Show It book, which is a workbook that she has that she works in every day. And in her Know It, Show It book, her thing was like, you know, you have to read each sentence and then circle the word that correctly fits the sentence. Y'all, my baby did it all by herself. She's like, Mommy, today was the day of, I don't need help. Leave me alone. Every other day, it's, Mommy, I need help. Like, I can't figure out these words. And why is it? Why is she playing with my emotions? Why is it that this child can pronounce big words, but can't say small ones? Like, I was saying it in live. She has a problem saying statistics. I know she has like a speech impediment, but she can't say statistics. She can't say specific. She can say statitties perfectly fine. And I try not to laugh when she says it because then she thinks it's funny and that she can keep saying it. But when, like, that first time she was like, statitty. Like, she just said it really loud. And, like, right in my face. She was just like, statitties. I tried. Yeah, I tried so hard not to laugh. I failed miserably. But I tried. Okay, I tried. And then, like, when she tried to say specific, I'm like, where are you getting, what? No, specific. No, we're just gonna stop right there. But, like, she can say bigger words, like probably, problem, towards was another word that I thought she would have a problem with today. She didn't have a problem. Getting, ducked. She can say those words, no problem. She got tripped up on the word was. I don't know why, but she mixed it up. She always does. And they tell me she doesn't have dyslexia. So before somebody says, well, maybe she has dyslexia. No, she doesn't. She's not dyslexic. We already had her tested. She's not dyslexic. I'm thinking it's time for her eye appointment. Because, yeah. The fact that she's mixing up. Like, she'll say, Molly saw the store. Or Molly saw go to the store. And I'm like, hold up, that don't make no sense. That's not how it's written in the book. Now, I have to check it because when Orion was Maggie's age, he found 2 mistakes in his textbook for school. 2 grammatical mistakes that apparently had never been pointed out to them. And the books were like 3 years old. So the fact that nobody pointed it out to them was pretty sad, because he found it. And we went to the teacher and contacted Scholastic to let them know that there was a typo in the books. I think the word there, they had it THERE, and it was supposed to be THEIR. And yes, Orion knows the difference between there, and there. Maggie, not so much. She just thinks that they're all THERE. She's like, why do they have to be different? Like, she'd be asking me philosophical questions about her schoolwork that I can't answer. Mommy, why are there so many 2s? What do you mean? TWO, TO, TOO. She goes, is TOO just the extra version of TO? Yes, honey. It's essentially like TOO wanted to be different than TO. It wanted to have a different condensation or condensation, so it decided to, and it decided to add an extra O to be a little spicy. And she's like, that's copying. That's stupid. I get it, but we have to learn what the differences are between these words, so that when you go to write stuff when you're little, and she goes, that's why I have spell check. Now, do you remember being in school and your teacher telling you that you're not always going to have a calculator around, that you can't, use a calculator for everything, so you got to learn how to do it in your head and in your on your hands? And now we're living in 2021, and there's always a calculator in your pocket. If you have a cell phone, no matter what kind of cell phone you have, it has a calculator on it. It's one of those things where I'm telling her that, you're going to have to learn how to read and write and do this stuff for when you're an adult, because you're going to need to know how to do it. But Mom, if I have spell check, why do I need to learn how to spell? I'm like, because what happens if you can't, like, everybody has that one word, okay? That one word that trips them up. That one word that you think Photoshop, that you think spell check for. I have a couple of them, but one of my biggest ones is the word definitely. Cannot spell it to save my life. Thank you, spell check. What is yours? Write that down in the comments. Maggie likes to use spell check whenever she's typing or writing stuff, and you can tell because it always comes out like she's from a different country. Like it makes her talk like English isn't her first language. So I'm like, why are you depending on spell check? And she's like, because why not, Mommy? I always will have spell check, right? No, you won't always. I'm like, what if you're doing a test in school? And she goes, well, I have my phone. I'm like, you can't use your phone on tests in school. Oh, well, I'll find a way to use it. That's not how we're doing it out here in these crafty streets. That's just not how we're doing it. So, like, homeschooling has been doing a lot better. I've learned too that when Maggie doesn't get enough sleep, like when she's not in bed at 10 o'clock that next day, she chooses violence when she wakes up. She just chooses violence. So it's like, it's kind of like hit or miss whether or not we're going to have good days or bad days. I thought for sure today we were going to have a bad day or a good day, as we're sitting here and she's just blowing through her work, no problem. And then out of nowhere, in the middle of her math, she gets really sad. And I'm like, Maggie, are you okay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, honey, what's wrong? Why are you so sad? Nothing. Nothing. Doesn't seem like nothing, Tootsie. I'm like, what's wrong? The button came out of my thing. The button came out of your what? She's like, out of my tablet. I'm like, your tablet doesn't have buttons, honey. What are you talking about? She's like, the button came out. And I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? Apparently yesterday, while she was playing, her tablet fell off her bed. No biggie, right? Right. No biggie until the fact that it fell on the top of a toy. Not a soft one, of course, but a hard toy. And then what does she do? She accidentally steps on it. She broke her tablet. Now, the kids have had these tablets for, I want to say 3 years. They've had these tablets. And this is the first time that one of them's gotten broken. So I thank my lucky stars that this is the first time, because I've seen her drop this thing on concrete. I've seen her drop this thing on the floor, on the dogs, on herself. I'm surprised that this is the first time, but she really did a number on it. The button that you press for your fingerprint reader literally looks like she took a knife and just ice picked it out. and then there's spider webs going through the entire screen, and I'm like, your father is going to be so mad. I'm going to have to hear this tomorrow or today. I tell Mr. Coffee and I show him. He's like, are you flipping kidding me? I'm like, yep, I told you your dad's gonna be mad. Oh. And I'm like, well, Maggie, why didn't you tell us this yesterday? I don't know. Okay. So Maggie is grounded, and she's not allowed to have electronics this week because she broke one. She has her cell phone, but because she's not going anywhere, because she doesn't play with Window Friend anymore, she doesn't really need the cell phone, so I took the cell phone. She has no tablet. Her TV only plays the news, essentially, and one random cartoon channel. So she is really upset with me right now because I took all her stuff away. But I'm like, look, listen, again, I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. Thank you for the compliment of saying that you don't like it when I'm mean to you. But me being mean to you is what's going to teach you responsibility. I'm like, is this how we treat our things? And she's like, no. Then why would you step on it? You have that whole floor in your room, okay? You have that whole floor. You step right on top of the tablet. But yeah, so the next thing you know, the tablet's broken. She says nothing to us all day. She waits until today and when we're in the middle of her math lesson to go, Mommy, I broke my tablet. Now, usually we don't mess with their tablets because they have charging stations where they put their tablets every night and they charge up, and then the next day the kids mess with them. We don't really have a reason to mess with them because they're already parental locked. So anything that they do try to download or anything on those tablets, we are aware of. If they do anything that is suspicious, we're alerted. So nothing was alerting us that there was something wrong. So obviously, you know, they don't have that technology that can tell us that there's a broken tablet in the house. So we didn't know, and I don't check the tablets because I don't have a reason to go on their tablets. All there's on there is little video games for them. So when she told me that, I was like, I'm definitely telling your dad. Now, what I didn't tell her was, Mr. Coffee can fix it. Mr. Coffee fixes iPhone stuff. Like, he can fix phones, tablets, you know, iPhone things. He can't, I don't know if he can do Android, but he can fix Apple anything. Especially if it's broken and cracked screens. He's been doing this for over 10 years. And so he can fix it. But we've decided we're going to put her on a different type of punishment. We're not going to ground her to her room. No. There's fun stuff in there. Like, she has video games and toys. Nowadays, it's hard to punish your children because they have so much electronics that, yeah, you can't play with your tablet. Okay, I'll go play with my game system. No. So we've decided, until the screen comes in to fix her tablet, she is grounded. By grounded, I mean she has to do an extra 30 minutes of schoolwork every day, meaning she has to do, they have something called Prodigy, which is like a math/reading game that they play during school time. And so she'll have to play an extra 30 minutes of Prodigy, which it is a game, but it's a learning game. And it's one that's hard for her, and she doesn't like to play it by herself, even though she can. So she'll be playing it by herself as part of her punishment. Is essentially she'll be learning how to play the game. And then the other punishment is she has to read for 30 minutes every night to us. Usually we read together every couple of days, or with her school assignments, I will read to her. But now I'm going to make it where she has to read by herself for 30 minutes. Now, usually I wouldn't use reading as a punishment because I don't want her to think that reading is associated with something bad. But Maggie needs to practice, and to essentially, she's earning back the rights to her tablet. So by the time the screen gets here and Mr. Coffee has time to fix it, she will have to earn at least, because I think he said he wants her to do like 3 hours of reading by herself, because she just got all those new books in from my subscribers. So why can't she read? She randomly will read, but I want her reading on a more consistent basis. So this is our gateway into doing that. So essentially, she gets rewarded for reading. She has to earn stars. So if she reads for her 30 minutes to us at the end of the night, she gets a star. She has to have 5 stars by the time that Mr. Coffee fixes the tablet to earn her tablet back. She also has to keep her room clean, and she already has it clean now. Like, she spent the last hour cleaning it, and then I'm pretty sure she's passed out on the floor at this point, because usually that's what happens when you tell her to go clean her room. She'll go play, clean, pick something out, play again, and then pass out in the middle of the floor. So I'm pretty sure she's probably like at the stage of passing out in the middle of the floor. But she has to pass out in the middle of the floor, and then she'll wake up and be kind of like, you know, disoriented. Like, where am I? Why am I on the floor? So she is going to be on punishment until the screen comes in and Mr. Coffee fixes it. And she'll have to keep her room clean and read to us for 30 minutes every night. And that's how she's going to earn back her tablet. So you essentially, she's getting rewarded for reading by where it is part of her punishment. She's also being rewarded for it because she's earning the rights back to her tablet. She was also using it for Audible because they do have some kid books on. It's a website I got a couple, like when the pandemic first started. Somebody sent me a website to Audible where you can listen to books for free. And I can't even turn her tablet on to tell you what the website is because it's broken. So I'm hoping that when Mr. Coffee comes home, he'll be able to take a look at it, order what he needs, and get it fixed because it's going to be a rough couple of days. And it's only Monday. It's only Monday. But, alright guys, I gotta get out of here. I got some parenting to do. I gotta go check on Orion and make sure that if she is on the floor, I gotta go pick her up for one of the dogs steps on her. So, sorry about the craziness and all the interruptions, but I hope you guys enjoyed the Wip N Chat. If you did, please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down at this point. I don't give a crap. Either way, if you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. But with that said, I must now bid you adieu. But not before reminding you that it's hard out here in these crafty streets, so please stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face, keep your 6 feet, and always try to be kind, be courteous, be cool.